Hello, everyone. We now have news on the 2026 DLC, which is very exciting considering the fact that we had no news about it for like 4 months or something, and now we finally have some news about it to be able to just know that it is coming. It's coming in 2 weeks today, which is amazing. Like, only 2 weeks left of the 2025 cars. Hopefully, the dirty end that does get fixed. I think obviously there will be updates throughout the course of the game, which will help it. But obviously, the trade, which was only 86 seconds long, still helped with a lot of stuff in terms of us knowing that certain aspects will be confirmed. Obviously, Cadillac and that will be confirmed because we've seen obviously we saw deliveries in the trailer as well as the Madrid circuit. That I think those two are the main ones that we needed. But it's great that we've got them now. It's great we've got the trailer to confirm it and such. So obviously we know we can. The bare minimum we expected is there. Obviously the bare minimum was to have the 11 teams to ensure we had Cadillac and Audi and just the new regulations in general. Obviously, let's talk about the trailer because you'd normally expect it to start with just the new stuff, but we started in a simulated event of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix which was last year, between Verstappen and Lando Norris. Obviously, the game wasn't identical to real life because Verstappen and Norris weren't swapping around, but obviously it had Lando Norris doing the donuts, a world champion, just showcasing. It's showcasing the transition from 2025 to 2026 because it's not a new game, but it is a new game. It's a DLC. It's a DLC, downloadable content expansion, whatever you want to call it. It's a new thing, so I find it cool that they have it. I find it cool that they've got the showcase from last season to showcase that we are moving to new regulations, although it's on the same game, showcasing that you can still actually have the F125 cars, that will still be an option, which I think amazingly opens up career opportunities like Let's Plays and etc. Like, obviously, it allows you to do, say, on the same game, maybe there could be the option career mode, where you can start in 2025 with the 2025 cars. So you could maybe start at Sauber, as an example. Start at Sauber as the rookie, like in a sense like Gabriel Bortoleto. Do that season on the 2025 cars, then move on to the 2026 season where you transition to the new regulations, which I think could open so much more in terms of being able to have a career mode where you actually change cars, change regulations, and everything. The amount of cinematic stuff that could be for there as well, it could make career mode so much more worthy of being talked about. Obviously, I know they had the changes, I think, in F1 24 for the driver career mode, and then 2025 we had the My Team career mode, which, by the way, they have confirmed that if you do a My Team career, you will be the 12th team on the grid. So I think it's like 2012 days. I didn't watch it from then. It was around then where they had the 12 car grid, with the 12 team grid, sorry, where there was 24 cars. So it'll be nice to see what could be done with mods, etc. Like maybe bring back the old team liveries from those years to showcase and make a retro season. But obviously, yeah, the trailer started off with Verstappen versus Norris showcasing the transition from 25 to 26. Showing Lando then doing the donuts, and you heard Crofty in the background going, "Lando Norris, champion of the world," which is expected as such. But then something which caught my attention, there's two shots. There's one in the Madrid, and then there's also one in the Yas Marina circuit in the Abu Dhabi start phase. It showcases like you're recording on a phone. Like, so there's a fan recording on a phone. That, to me, obviously, I'm being delusional maybe, but maybe it's opening up a new replay feature where there's an option to maybe go from a fan's phone recording point of view. Would it be favoured or not? No, I don't think it would be in. I don't think it would be in like commentary broadcast. Like, so obviously in commentary you have the when you go on board with the driver, and you have the cinematic shots. I think for certain corners the screen recording could be cool, but I don't think it would be good for commentary because it's a screen which is just like that. It's not like that. It's like that in a sense. It's not full width screen, and I don't think it would be favoured all that much. So I mean, I think it would be cool to have a new camera. Right, so then we move on to the 2026 side of things. Now, we've seen the past, we've seen the Verstappen v Norris stuff. Now we're in the 2026 side of things. We are in the new regulations where instantly, like that, we see Audi. We know Audi's confirmed. The question is, will Cadillac be there as well? In a second, literally like mere seconds later, Cadillac's there as well. So it's instantly good that we have Audi and Cadillac already confirmed in a matter of 5 seconds of seeing the cars. Then we go to like some wheel-to-wheel action. It's not gameplay yet, of course, but we see wheel-to-wheel action between like Mercedes, Haas, Alpine, and just so much more. VCarb as well. There's photos online about it, as well as photos on Steam, on Xbox, and everything of the DLC. But yeah, there's obviously Audi and Cadillac are confirmed, which is really, really good. So yeah, it's good to see that we've got the 11th team on the grid of Cadillac and the new team replacing Sauber of Audi. There's also then the shots of rainy conditions in Spa. Of course, it's Spa. It's Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin. I find it funny that it's Aston Martin, considering how woeful that they've been in 2026. It's safe to say, but yeah, it's rain looks better. It looks better, but then there's always been this theme of the game looks a lot better on trailers than it does in actual gameplay. And how do I play this? Actual gameplay and overall mood. It's the trailers always seem to have like be a step up in comparison to the actual gameplay that we as the players get to witness. But yeah, the rain looked a lot better on the trailer. Obviously, that's to be decided. Yeah, we'll find out further June about the rain. But then obviously Lance at the spin, which I think looked actually quite cool. It looked like the car would be harder to save in a sense in the rain. You might be like, skating across the damp circuit if you are spinning. So it could be harder to save, which I think could be cooler because you then get punished more as a driver. You get punished a lot more if you make a mistake. Obviously, we know with these cars, it's a lot less drag because of how much less downforce there is. Active aero system, the overtake mode, the boost mode. We saw that with late braking moves, you can defend it if you are not using your overtake and your boost mode. Because we saw in Australia in 2026, this year obviously, we saw Russell v Leclerc, obviously, which was a very good battle, and I was very happy to see Russell come out on top of it. But yeah, we saw Russell used the overtake mode into turn 3, got past. I'm not sure what lap it was, but into turn 3 got past. But because Russell was carrying so much speed to the entry, he had to brake so much earlier than Charles, who was able to brake a lot later. He tried to hang around the outside, but Russell obviously slammed that door shut. But I think that it can open up so much more racing. Do I think it will be as extreme as real life? No. Mainly because it's a game. The only reason I say that, it's a game where people want to have fun. If it's like real life, like we've seen with the Dirty Air, people was asking for more Dirty Air, but they majorly they kind of screwed that up. They screwed that up. They made the Dirty Air way too powerful in comparison to the Slipstream and such. But obviously, yeah, there's always the chance for new stuff. With the yeah, I reckon that'll be a lot less this in the DLC, etc. But obviously, with the new rain and new handling dynamics, I do think it could be a lot more promising and such, which I do believe will be good for racing. I do think these regulations will be really good for league racing. And as a commentator myself, I would absolutely love that, to be able to have that. But then we move on to another crucial point which has been confirmed: the Madrid circuit. Madrid confirmed, right? Madrid confirmed we're getting a new circuit with the DLC. That was the second minimum expectation I have. New regulations, new cars, and then new regulation, new cars, etc., etc., and then the new track as well, which I wanted, which the whole community was a bare minimum, right? So we have the new Madrid circuit. Obviously, I cannot wait to drive it. It does actually look like quite a fun lap. Obviously, it's not another street circuit we all wanted, but I do think it could be quite good for racing. It looks open as well. It's a mix. It's like Baku in a sense where you can overtake, but you have to push the limit of it. Like we saw the long bank curve. I can't think it's like turn 12. I think it is the long banked corner. That looks really fun. Imagine going around the outside there, how satisfying it would be. Obviously, we saw at the end of it, it says that cars can only be driven in the circuit can only be driven in 2026 cars, which fair enough for licensing, etc. Makes sense, doesn't it? It would be fun to drive a 2025 car around there. I think it would be fun with all the downforce in those cars, but I think these regulations would be better for racing for them because you can overtake easier in these new regs. But then something is said at the end. This is quote unquote here. I've got it wrote down here. I wrote down a lot of stuff about it. Internet connection and all game updates required to access, and here's the key part, Formula 2 2026 update and certain content. Certain content will be like the 2026 cars and Madrid circuit. We're getting Formula 2 2026, which brings on to another point. Because we've got 22 cars both in Formula 1 and Formula 2 now, lobbies, from my understanding, from what I'm guessing as well, they will go up to 24 people possible to have in it. Have obviously the 22 drivers and then 2 spectators which will normally be for like just commentators, etc. in league racing, which I think is amazing. And this opens up a major portal for Formula 2 to be in leagues. Because you can, if it is, now you can use all 22 Formula 2 teams. Normally you'd have to cut out a team because you could only have 20 drivers and 2 spectators, which I think was stupid. I think there should have been modified lobbies, to be able to have the Formula 2. But I just think as a whole, it's so much more promising. Obviously, it then said at the end as well, some final car models will release in the past launch update. That I get. I do get that because of the fact that we've had the changes to the regulations ever since Behrman's crash in Suzuka, which I think was a must, and we saw them get implemented in Miami, which was a couple of weeks later than it was wanted because Bahrain and Jeddah got cancelled, which could still be returning. Let's get that in mind. Jeddah could be, and Bahrain could be coming towards the latter end of this year. On the real life calendar, I think it will be in the game nonetheless. But yeah, I think we had teams bring massive upgrades, like Mercedes. They'll be bringing their upgrades to Canada this week in real life. Ferrari, Red Bull and all that, they've brought major upgrades as well. McLaren as well. So I think every team has brought upgrades and their car has at least changed looks in one area. So obviously the update will be needed for that. But yeah, I think it will be so promising. Obviously, with these regulations, I think it will be really good for league racing, etc. I think it will be. I think we'll have a lot more fun on the DLC than we had throughout the whole year of the F1 25 game. Personally, because this has probably been the least enjoyable game for me, and as a personal opinion for league racing. I enjoyed F1 24 a lot more for racing because you could follow without issue. And it would always guarantee racing. With F1 25, there's a lot more time management involved. Don't get me wrong, it brings out the more skills of the drivers, but I think you would rather, as a commentator's perspective, you would rather to have less time management, more racing, than more time management, less racing. But then the final thing, which I will discuss here today, 26th of May, which is Tuesday next week, 2026 Season Pack Deep Dive. This will consist of features and more. So this will consist of everything that will be within the DLC. Obviously, it'll probably be like tracks, F1, F2. Maybe the rain, maybe the phone recording system I was on about. But I think it can open up so much more. It could be so good. I have a lot of hope for this. I'm very excited. Obviously, this year is going to be a major year, not only for EA, but for Codemasters and for the F1 community. when we get to F1 27 next year, that will be the make or break factor. If we gain trust or lose trust, because they're putting everything into F1 27, the amount of pressure, sky high now. But I have hope. I have a lot of hope. I'm hoping that. I've always backed F1. I've always backed the F1 game, even though we're in the trenches. I've always backed it. And then one final thing as well, prices. If you are wondering, they have been released. It's not available for purchase yet, but prices have been released. It's retail suggested. So on console, there's obviously going to be two options. There's going to be the pack where you get I forgot the exact names, but there's an option where you can purchase the game and the DLC in one together. On console, I'm going to round this up. On console, it's going to be, I think, for 50 quid or £50, which is really, really good. By the way, you get the game and the DLC, which is amazing. For just the DLC, if you already have the F1 25 game, just for the DLC, you will pay £25, which again, really good price in my opinion. And then on PC, for the DLC, again rounding up, I think it's £22. And then for it, that's just for the DLC if you have already got F1 25. And then if you want both the game and the DLC, it will cost you, I believe, £47, £48. It'll be around that for PC. Obviously, it's cheaper than console. Not happy, but so yeah, really good prices as well. So yeah, absolutely over the moon with it. But if you enjoyed this waffle session, it's the first time I've ever done something like this, so a bit uncomfortable doing it, but I thought it'd be fun. But yeah, from me, ciao adios, I am done.